All right, here we are. Squash the beef.
Squash the beef.
Episode 2. We have a special guest from Jersey, Stephen.
Yo, yeah.
How do you pronounce your last name?
It's Stephen Redeker.
Redeker.
That's my full
okay.
name. And it's awesome. I'm glad you guys invited me, Joe
Yo,
and Brian.
man.
Mhm.
And am I your first special guest? If this is episode number 2?
Dude.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Popped our cherry.
All right, so I'm gonna set a very high standard.
Yeah,
here. I'm gonna
yeah.
set the
You
bar
are
for
going to
guests.
kill it
Of
for
course,
everybody.
yeah.
Everybody's going to be like, no, I
Awesome.
don't want to be on that show no more.
Yeah, man. So, how did we meet, Steve?
I was here in Gwangju, and you showed up at my language exchange event. I think that was the first
Was it
time,
from
right?
that?
Yeah,
Or was it
probably.
like Eric's thing? No?
like just drinking beer
Yeah.
on a Friday night?
Mm-hmm.
I can't remember.
Yeah, I don't remember.
So you guys met in Gwangju, right?
Yeah, we met in Gwangju.
So how long ago? You guys knew each other for a while now?
Yeah, it's been maybe more than a year, I'd
yeah,
say.
definitely 2 years. What was interesting was 2 Brians came at the same time.
Oh,
There was another
right.
teacher named Brian. He's laughing because you don't remember him. He was kind of a 10-month one and done.
No,
type thing.
I know him. I know
And
him. From
so
Florida, right?
We started calling him Brian from Florida, Brian from New Jersey,
Mhm.
That's so long.
to separate that. You know? Well,
Yeah.
I didn't call him that, but
Yeah.
if somebody said Brian's going to come to the event,
Oh,
it was always
which
like,
one?
which one?
Right.
Right. Yeah, I remember that, Brian. Do you still keep in contact
The
with
other
him?
people used to say Asian Brian.
Asian Brian.
Asian Brian.
And I would just say, all right, look, there's Brian from Florida, there's Brian from New Jersey. All right.
I like Asian Brian.
Asian Brian.
So, where are you from in New Jersey again?
So I grew up in Milburn, Short Hills, New Jersey, which is just the suburbs of Newark, well, west of Newark. What else is around there? Between Newark and Morristown. If you know Morristown.
I know
it's pretty
Morristown.
famous. And, we got the Short Hills Mall.
Oh, yeah. I know
People
the Short
from-
Hills Mall.
People from outside New Jersey know the Short Hills Mall because it's like one of the top malls or something.
When you're going on the way to Philadelphia, right? Like, that's where you pass by, right? The Short Hills Mall? On the
Well, from where you live.
Oh,
yeah, you would,
okay.
You would do that.
Okay,
That's
yeah,
right.
yeah.
Mhm.
That's why I know Short Hills Mall. It's actually a really nice
The mall is like they have valet parking.
It's nice.
Like marble floors.
Nice, man.
I'm not rich, but I come from a rich town. So
Yeah.
I was kind of like the part of the population that was just middle class.
Mhm.
Like I grew up with a single mom in
Mhm.
Short Hills,
Mhm.
and she just used to say that I want you to grow up here. I want you to go to these schools and have these friends, but I can't afford it. Like I don't have enough money. Like it's really tough. So I kind of grew up in a strange kind of unconventional way based on how everybody else was around me.
Mhm.
Did it affect you, like, the way you grew up? Like, your kind of mindset and, like, your attitude or kind of growing up?
Like I had friends that were really wealthy, and you would hang out with I would hang out with some friends, and it was awesome to hang out at other people's houses. That's kind of how I was growing up. I had friends that were all different ethnicities too, and I thought that was really cool. I had some of my best friends were Indian parents. Another one was like Taiwanese. They had a Chinese restaurant.
Mhm.
And another friend was from South America, and I
Damn.
thought it was really cool that I would hang out at their houses
Super
and
diverse there.
hear different languages, eat different foods, and I just like as a kid, that's just normal to you, and it was really cool. I remember my friend, like his grandma didn't speak any English, so I would try to learn and speak basic Spanish just to kind of just get along, inside his house.
Mm.
Damn,
And,
man.
But since I grew up with a single mom, and she didn't have a lot of money because of how hard it is to raise me and my sister, we had some tough times, and my mom had to rent out our house, and I lived in my buddy's basement when I was 16 for
Oh,
a year,
shit.
in my
Really?
junior and
Wow. You
senior
had it
year
rough,
in high
man.
school. So you would look at that as that's kind of rough, but when you're a kid, you just don't like. That's just kind of the way it. That's just. I'm not gonna say it's normal, but that's just the way it is,
Mhm.
and you don't look at it as an adult looking at it.
Right.
Like
Okay.
other adults might look at it and be like, "Man, she's fucking up," like my mom. But my mom did the best she could to keep us in that town and in that school,
Mhm.
even if it meant us having to move out with living with friends. So it was tough, but I kind of just like blocked it out by keeping busy with all the other stuff I was doing.
So what were you into, man? What were your hobbies like back then, like growing up as a kid? Like, did you play any sports? Did you?
I was in the Boy
music?
Scouts.
Oh, okay.
And this will be a funny contrast to anything else I might say later.
I'm already grinning.
So I got my Eagle Scout when I was 16.
Okay.
So I got into Boy Scouts when I was 11. My mom encouraged me to do it. My mom called up one of my friend's dads and said, "Hey, my kid wants to be in scouting. What about your kids?" And my mom kind of cracked the whip on that, and I stuck with it. My friends dropped out, but it was an awesome experience, Scouts, for me, not because I enjoyed the troop in my town. Those are all rich kids that kind of looked down on me and kind of criticized me because I wasn't one of them. But in the summers, from 14 to 20, I spent the whole 2 months off from school living in the woods and working at scout camp, summer camp. And that was so great to be working together with people that were, in their early 20s, late teens. When you were like 15, people that were 18, 19, 20 would treat you like you were an equal. And it was like being on vacation for 2 months for me.
Wow, dude.
So I kind of really relished it with that. And I got my Eagle Scout when I was 16. So I did that.
So you can do all kinds of knots and stuff, right?
Yeah, I can. Not anymore. I think I can remember about 5 of them, but then I could do like 20 of them. And then I got a job when I was 16 after school. I went right to a store and I punched a time clock and I was working from 6 to 9 or 5 to 9, 4 hours. And I worked in a pizza restaurant. I worked in a clothing store.
Wow.
And I was just working and
grinding.
paying for my car. I got a car when I was 17 or 18.
What's the oddest job you had?
The oddest job in my life?
Mm-hmm.
I was a driver for an escort service.
Oh,
I drove hookers around.
No way,
dude,
really?
how was
I
that?
used to drive hookers around at one point.
Wait, so did you like do small talk with them? Like, so
What is it
you
like
still got-
what is it like to drive around with a hooker sitting in your
Yes.
passenger seat?
yeah.
It's
Is it like actually
it could be fun and it could be fucking depressing. So I did that for a short time when I was in my mid-20s. I was living in Florida at that time. And I needed a part-time job that was kind of just using my car and not really like I can jump in and jump out of that part-time job at any time. And I was looking in the newspaper for jobs. And you're in trouble when you have to open the newspaper to find a job, right? So I was like, shit, I need a job because I need some money. And I saw escort service like ads and I called it. And the guy's like, "We're looking for girls." I said, "I know you are, but I got a car. Do you need a driver?" And the guy goes, "Yeah, come on in."
No.
So some of these, you think that some of these girls are like just like university age girls that need money to pay for school and they have no problems. They're just kind of like morally okay with making money that way. But unfortunately, you got like recovering crackheads. You got girls that have kids at home, and it's depressing actuy.
How do
when you see the kind of girls that resort to doing that full time, and they clock in at 2 a.m. and then they're done at 6 a.m. and
you ever see them doing drugs in the back? Like you look in the rearview mirror?
I never had anything like that.
No crazy stuff like that while
Nothing
you're working
like
as
that.
a driver.
I don't know. Some of them are like recovering or they're recovered, but when they go on the job, so to speak, I didn't see any kind of a drug use or anything like that, unless they did it in the house and I didn't know about it. But
And you said you lived in Florida for a little bit, right?
I lived in Florida for almost 10 years.
Oh,
like 9
10
years.
years.
Shout out to
Oh,
Florida,
yeah.
man.
Where
I
about
spent my
in Florida?
20s.
Florida.
I spent my 20s in Florida. When I graduated from college, I moved to Florida.
And where in Florida?
So I was in the Fort Lauderdale area for
Dude, really? I live in
yeah.
Boca Raton.
Yeah, so I was
Look at you
actually
guys.
then. If you know the area, I lived in Pompano.
Dude,
Beach,
okay.
yeah.
Damn.
So I lived on
Look at you
Sample
guys.
Road, Sample
All
and
right.
Federal Highway.
Yeah.
So I lived near Fort Lauderdale area for about 3 years, and then I moved to the other side, the coast of the other coast to Fort Myers.
Fort Myers.
So I lived in
man.
Fort Myers for about 4 years, something like that. About 8 years, something like that.
And then you just like, you're like Korea.
Yo, that's
no,
so
how
crazy though.
Jersey's a buffer in between Florida and Korea. I went back to Jersey. I went back to Jersey for 2 or 3 years. What happened in Florida was I got burnt out, to be honest. I felt like I was kind of retired already, and I was 28.
Wait, why did you feel like that?
Well, because I was doing real estate. It's basically a simple answer. I was doing real estate, and I really wasn't good at it, because real estate is all about relationships with people. It's sales, except
I feel like you'll be really good at it.
I'm great with people, but at that time, I'm a 24-year-old kid talking to like retired 50, 60-year-old people.
Yeah.
So these people come to, and I love helping people in my capacity of what I can do, right?
Yeah.
So you got people that call you or come to you looking to buy a house, and like they think they know what they want, but they want something. You always want something more than what you want to pay for, right?
Mm-hmm.
So driving people around and showing houses and then calling them up, and it wasn't my life's work. It wasn't great. And I stuck with it for like 5 or 6 years, and I did not make a lot of money when the market was good. And then basically Hurricane Katrina happened, and that was in 2005, right?
Dude, yeah.
So that totally destroyed New Orleans.
Yeah.
Remember that?
Yeah.
But that destroyed the real estate bubble in the whole country. That was the one event where people said, I'm not buying anymore. And they talk about the economic crash of 2008.
Yeah.
Hurricane Katrina, to me, started all of that.
Oh,
Interesting.
okay.
So when that happened, I lost a ton of money, too, in real estate that I had owned.
Oh.
So I took a huge hit, like everybody did. And I was looking for some way out. I was just thinking, what the hell am I going to do with my life? I don't like real estate. I get bored at regular jobs. I did another part-time job where I was delivering magazines in my car. My car was full of stacks of magazines, and I would go to like 7-Elevens and like Auto Trader magazine, like shit like that, just to make money to get by. And I was just like,
that's rough.
I'm just like, I have a college degree, and I can't find a job, and I know I'm not the only one, right?
Right.
So, and everybody has problems. You can't go to people for help because they have their problems too, and nobody really knows you better than you know you. So it's just like, what the hell do I do? And luckily, I still had an uncle living in New Jersey that had his own business, and he said, "You come up here, work for me. I have plenty of work for you."
Nice.
So that's
From
what
the
I
same
decided
area
to do.
that you're from?
Yeah. So he grew up near there, but he moved he has a family, and they're in the Somerville area, more of central New Jersey,
Okay.
on the way to Trenton.
Okay.
Like when you go down there,
Yeah.
is it Route 202 or 206, something like that? So he's in central New Jersey. So that's a whole nother period of my life where I went back to a place called West Orange, New Jersey, which is the same township near where I'm from. And I met 3 guys I grew up with, and we got a house together. We rented we all chipped in and rented a house together. And I was there for 2 years.
How'd you like it, West Orange?
It wasn't, it was great because that's where I grew up, was in that area.
Yeah.
If you ever watched The Sopranos,
Mm-hmm.
not that we did that stuff, but I'm just saying that area where they filmed it that's where I grew up, those townships.
Oh, okay.
So it was beautiful scenery, beautiful rich houses. You're not living in it, but
Right.
Some of your friends are. And what my uncle's company was doing was making videos, videography. So companies and people would pay him to videotape events, and mostly weddings.
Nice.
So he trained me how to use computers to edit videos, and how to go to
That's
do
super
video
cool, man.
do video for a whole wedding, to do a wedding shoot, where you go there at 10 in the morning and you're done at 11 p.m. at night. It kind of wipes you out. It wipes you out.
Wow.
But you make a good stack of money in one day. And
That's pretty cool, man.
so I enjoyed it for 1 year, but I got burnt out of that after 1 year. And why did I get burnt out of that? Again, I got that feeling. Oh shit, here's that feeling again.
Right.
What the hell am I gonna? I don't want to do this for the rest of my life.
Did the sun take a toll as well on you?
The what?
The sun. You know what they say, like the sun's like radiating so much like stronger down there. It wasn't physically like takes a toll on you.
No, I enjoyed the shooting. I enjoyed the physical part of going to the wedding. Even though you're not in the wedding, you kind of have to like be a fly on the wall. You hover on the outside,
Right.
And I would wear like a black dress shirt and black pants.
Splendid.
And you're like you're like a ninja, right? And people are dancing at the reception, and you have a video camera with a light, and you're trying not to like be too obtrusive or intrusive. I enjoyed that. What I didn't enjoy was the Monday to the editing part. So 8 hours a day, you're sitting in front of a computer chopping video.
Jeez.
And you're sitting there alone in an office chopping video. Now, some people love that. I'm a people person.
Mm-hmm.
I got burnt out of that right away.
Yeah.
Sitting in front of a computer. And
I could imagine
your
man.
boss,
Mm.
who's your uncle,
Yeah.
saying, "Hey, look, time is money.
Yeah,
right.
I need these couples are waiting for their video.
Mhm.
They got married last year. It's been a year. They're waiting for their wedding DVD."
Mhm.
And he's right, and the faster you work, the more money you make. When
Right.
you get the video done, you make $300 or $400. And if you can do 2 in a week, that's great. I can only do 1 in a week. And after a year, I knew I wanted to leave. And here I am again, like, what the hell am I going to do with my life? And this guy that I met, that is an acquaintance, he's a friend. We weren't that close, but I hadn't seen him since Florida like 4 years earlier. And I just happened to reach out, and I sent him an email, and I said, what are you up to these days? And he said, I'm in Korea. I just got here a month ago. I'm teaching English in Korea, and it's awesome, and you should come here too.
Whoa.
And at the time, I thought to myself, he's like, go online, look at some recruiter websites. Because I said, I don't have a teaching certificate and all that. He said, look at what you need. You learn on the job. You just need a college degree and a clean background check. And I went online and I looked it up. You get a free apartment for a year. You make $1,800 or about $2,000 a year, something like that, right?
Did you come through Epic?
No, I didn't even know about Epic.
Okay.
I just called on a recruiter's website. So I kind of went the Hagwon,
Okay.
the academy, private
Where
academy
Seoul,
route.
Gyeonggi. Oh, you went to Gwangju, right?
Yeah, I mean that's a quick story I'll tell you in itself. But let me tell you this first. I had met a teacher, a native English teacher that was teaching in Korea in like 4 years before that. Like in 2004, I had met a dude. It was a random thing. It was just like a friend of a friend had a apartment party, somebody's birthday, and I happened to go to it. And there was a dude there that was a brother of somebody that was hanging out in the back playing cards, drinking beers. And I sat down, and the guy had tattoos of different languages and different religious symbols. And I said, oh, that's pretty cool. What's the story with that? And he's like, I've taught English in Thailand. I taught English in Korea. And I really enjoy that life. And I just happened to be here for a week on a vacation. And I said, that's really cool. Yeah. But I'm a I'm a realtor in Florida. And I go to the beach and I play golf, and I'm not going to go to Asia and teach English. What the fuck? And then 4 years later, a different guy said, you need to come to Korea. And I said at that time, I need something. I had nowhere to live. I was living in my uncle's basement because my friends just crapped out of the lease was over on that house. And I knew I wanted to go to Korea, so I'm not going to renew a lease. My uncle's like, you can stay in my house. I'm sleeping on a blow-up bed in his basement. Chained to a computer to do those videos. I have no money left, nowhere to live, and I'm just like, I need to get to Korea as fast as possible. And that leading up to how I got here.
Dude, was your uncle like pretty upset?
So when I told my uncle, I said, listen, I'm going to move to Korea and I'm going to just try it for a year. I'm going to teach English for a year. And he laughed and he's like, are you fucking nuts?
Yeah.
He's like, Korea? It's like, why don't you just teach
I can
English
imagine,
here?
Yeah.
It's like, why don't you teach English here? And I said, and this is the truth. I said, my sister teaches English here, and she cried her first year every day. It was miserable. But this is kind of like, you don't need any experience. You get to see another country, and you get to learn if you want to be a teacher or not. You just keep going. If you don't, come back after a year. It's just a 1-year contract. So I said, I'm going to give it a shot for a year. At least I'll have a place to live. I'll have the medical insurance. And I love people. I can teach kids. I can do it. And that first year in Korea was like a dream come true. Everything I had hoped and dreamed would happen, happened that first year.
Whoa, please elaborate on that.
Like, Korea saved me.
Wow.
Like, that's how I felt. And it was iffy when I got the job, because when I called, some recruiter guy was calling me, and he's doing a good job. And he's like, when are you ready to come to Korea? And I said, I'm not ready yet. I still have a lot of things I need to take care of here in America. And he's like, usually people want to get here ASAP. I said, I do, but I'm not ready yet. I got to finish some of the projects I'm working on. And he said, okay. He passed me off to another recruiter and passed me off. And finally, a year after I decided, I said, I'm ready now. And I got a contract. And I signed a contract. And I put it in the mail. And it was for a school in Suwon, south of Seoul, right?
Yep.
And 3 weeks later, I told the recruiter, hey, what's going on? And the recruiter's like, I haven't heard yet from the school. And then I got a call a couple days later. And the call was from the recruiter. It was like midnight. I'm drinking with my friends in Florida. And they said, I got good news and bad news. The bad news is the school didn't get your contract, and they hired another teacher. There's no job. You lost the job. And I said, well, I mailed it, regular mail. I didn't know it takes a month to get there. It's just a manila envelope. I thought it would be there in 2 weeks. I didn't know I had to pay $50 and have it shipped like 3 days. He goes, it's all right, Stephen. There's a city called Gwangju that has a job for you, and foreigners have enjoyed working in Gwangju. Do you want the job? I said, yes. I'll take it. Did you call the school? And she said, the owner's very laid back, very nice. He's not going to interview you. He trusts me that you're good. And I should have taken that as a warning sign, actually. But I said, I'll take it. I'll take it. So that was it. Then that's how I got to the big Jeollado Gwangju.
Right.
This is the actual metropolitan city of Gwangju, not the Gyeonggi provincial.
Those of you
right.
who know us, it's not Gyeonggi, Gwangju. It's the bigger Gwangju. So
there's 2 Gwangjus in Korea, and we suffer every day when we talk about it because of that. Now I can't say Gwangju without saying Gyeonggi Gwangju or Jeolla Gwangju.
Yeah, right.
You have
So even my friends that know I live in Gyeonggi Gwangju, they'll say, where are you? I say, I'm at home. They'll say, oh, what are you doing tonight? I said, I think I'll stay in Gwangju tonight. They go, which Gwangju?
Jeez.
Did you know any Koreans prior to coming to Korea?
Dude, I knew nothing about Korea. I didn't even know what kimchi was. I didn't know what kimchi was before I came here.
So did you have any Korean friends though? You did?
I did. When I was like 11 or 12 years old, I made friends with a Korean kid, and I would go to his house, take my shoes off when I went in there, which I hated. And they suffered too, because at that time, for some reason, my feet really stunk.
Did you know?
Well, you're a kid.
So grandma was like, oh, smoke. She didn't know what to say. And at that time, she was saying smoke. I remember that. And I'm like, am I on fire? But that was only that time, that 1 year I had stinky feet. Now that, I don't have that.
No, but that's understandable, because when you're a kid, you're like running around everywhere and you're just sweating like profusely.
You're sweating profusely.
It's not like you're aware
of. You're just a kid, yeah.
Yeah, you're not aware of yourself.
So I would just go there as a stinky kid when I was 11 or 12. And the kid had the best video games. They were wealthy. The kid had the best video games. The kid had a computer. And like, that's the first time I actually saw a GIF for the first time. He would show a picture on the computer. And
it'd be moving.
And I'd say, oh, wow, that's a picture. He goes, no, it's not a picture. It's a GIF. I said, what's a GIF? He goes, it's a video file, man. I go, what are you talking about? Like, I had no idea.
Yeah.
He was a cool kid, and he was a nice kid. So he was my first Korean friend. Unfortunately, that only lasted like a year. and he didn't remain like one of my close friends as my other
just
boys,
drifted apart.
We drifted apart, but he was a year younger than me,
Mm-hmm.
so you tend to stick with the guys in your grade,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
But I just remember him being a real cool kid. Now, the other experience was when I was in university. I lived in Europe. I lived in Germany and Austria. When I was in Germany for 2 months, they put me in a house. And it's a big house with many rooms. And one of the rooms had two bunks, and the other guy was Korean. He was from Seoul. And like he was 19. No, he was like 22 and I was 21. He was a year older than me. He spoke no English, and his German was better than mine. So I had to learn German to speak with him.
Do you speak German?
I speak German too.
Nice.
Wow.
I remember him, and there was another Korean guy that lived in another house. They were buddies. And I remember them being some of the nicest people I ever met. Just the nicest guys that could be your friends. And I never forget those guys. And it was Facebook sucks, but there's some reasons that Facebook is good. I found him on Facebook like a decade later.
Dude. It's crazy.
15 years later, and I met him in Seoul and had a beer with him.
Wow.
Now, he lives in Germany.
Wow.
He came to Seoul for a week, and I had a beer with that guy.
How's Germany, man?
Awesome.
Like, just like, how are the people there, man?
I didn't hang out with a lot of Germans. I hung out with like the
students
75 or so people from all over the world that hung out there.
Okay.
So I hung out with Swedish people from South Africa, people from France, people from Belgium. I got to kind of see what people are like, from Europe. And you say from Europe, there's so many different countries, and they're so close together.
Yeah.
Culture's different. Like Korea and Japan and China, culture's different.
Oh, yeah, I bet.
So people from Sweden are way different than people from France, and so to speak. But everybody was really cool. Everybody was proud of their country. Everybody was proud of their food. Everybody looked down on America. We suck because we think we're so great.
Dude,
but they like me as an individual, which is the most important
They
thing.
hate us Americans.
Yeah,
They don't hate, but they think that
They feel some type of way.
They think that we know nothing about geography and that we think we're the best
Somewhat
country,
true.
and they're
So
right.
ignorant.
They're
We're
right.
so
It's
ignorant
true.
and arrogant.
Well,
And
listen,
just-
I tell them, listen, if you lived in a huge country with 50 different like mini countries inside it called states, you would just be confounded with learning about the states and not worried about the fact that there's no other countries around you except for Canada and Mexico. If you just had two countries, one above you, one below you, that you can't go to unless you fly there, then you're not going to worry about it.
Right.
You're not going to think about it.
Yeah.
And that's just the way it is.
Good point.
It doesn't
Good
make us
point.
evil. It doesn't make us bad. It just makes us a little ignorant.
Yeah.
That's about it.
Good point, man.
99% of the Americans they don't know about every state. Like if you ask me about Missouri or like Iowa, I'm like, no.
What's the capital of Missouri?
Yeah, I don't.
Right.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, you stumped
I
me
used
already.
to know the 50 capitals. I think I know. I think I'm.
There's a song,
I
right?
got 47 of them that I'm sure about. Missouri. Damn, what's the capital of Missouri?
I do not know. We're so ignorant right now.
We look like a bunch of dumbasses.
So what kind of like culture shock did you like initially kind of get like when you were here?
Korea?
Because you didn't have any friends.
All right.
Like
There's gotta be
you
like,
didn't know anything. You know what I'm
Dude,
saying? Like the language.
When I came
culture.
to when my plane landed, it started right away. And when
What did I do?
when I got to Incheon,
the dust.
I had no way of communication with my boss or the recruiter.
Right.
And I had a smartphone from US that I was using in USA called the Trio 300. I was using a smartphone.
Trio
Oh
300.
God!
I had
don't
one of the
know what
first
that
smartphones.
is.
Like there was BlackBerry and then there was Trio, and I had the Trio. I've had it since like 2003 because I was in real estate. And
Look at you, all fancy.
right?
From Florida.
I had that Trio like in 2004. My friends were like, "Dude, that's way too fucking big. What do you got a big phone for? You need a little click phone like that. What do you do with a big fucking phone?" Now everybody's got one, and I'm the nerd, right?
Uh-huh.
So I got off the plane and I was worried. I had no way to get in touch with my boss. I didn't know the language. I'm supposed to buy a bus ticket to get to Gwangju from Incheon, right? I don't know where to go.
Yeah.
There's nobody with a sign meeting me. I can't even remember. Somehow the phone worked, and I got a phone call from the recruiter saying, "Go here, tell them the city name." They got some guy, somebody, I don't know who he was, a helper at the airport, found me and got me a ticket. And I got to the bus stop. I got on the bus. So I get to Gwangju. It takes about 4 hours. So I get to Gwangju at about 11, and I get to a bus terminal at 11 where there's not that many people there, and my boss is not there to pick me up. And I'm from Jersey.
What do you mean?
You don't want to be sitting around a bus terminal at 11:30 with like $2,000 of money in your pocket, a laptop in your backpack, your whole life in your hands, dude. And there's nobody to meet you at the bus terminal at 11:30.
So he was running on that Korean time. That's what I'm assuming.
He was running late, and Korean I was worried. I was angry.
Yeah.
I was fucking flipping out.
Of course.
And I did not know how safe Korea is.
Yeah.
I just was thinking this is any bus terminal in USA or wherever, right? Where you don't want to be there, where you're not supposed to be there. So the guy finally shows up like 45 minutes late.
Oh my
45
God.
minutes I was enduring that. Freaking out. I couldn't contact anybody. The guy finally shows up. He's got my picture. I'm the only whitey around there, obviously. Not hard to find me.
He's white.
White. I'm the only guy there. Yeah. Except for a couple people, like some old
people.
Ajashi guys are walking
by. You got the
white
me. Wallpaper.
They're walking by me mumbling, and I was not comfortable with that, you know? But they were just kind of saying, like, "Oh, what country are you from? Like, you know, what are you doing around here?" Not in an angry way, but just kind of like, "You look like you're out of place." Yeah.
The fuck?
I was worried. I was worried. I thought they were gonna ask me for money or something. I didn't know. I was an ignorant foreigner here.
Yeah.
And he finally shows up, and I was relieved and pissed off. But this is a guy working for the company picking me up. I'm not gonna unload on him. This is my new job.
Yeah.
So I got to swallow that and be like, "Thank God you're here. Thanks for picking me up. Do you speak English?" And
how's his English?
He's driving. He could barely speak English.
Oh my God.
He just showed me my picture. He goes, "Steven? Is you Steven? Okay, come."
Oh shit.
Oh my God.
So I get in the car. So that's my experience of landing in Korea. So I'm looking out the window as we're driving, and I'm like, "Yeah, man, I'm in Korea. This is awesome. Awesome." And I get to my apartment at like almost 1 a.m. And the guy introduces me to the outgoing teacher in the apartment. So I'm meeting a dude who is from Florida.
What?
Really awesome Jeremy. He was just one of another super nice guy. And he was like 26, 27, something like that. And he's like, "Yeah, I'll tell you what's going on here. I'll teach you about what you need to do. You're teaching tomorrow. It's 1 a.m. He's like, "You're teaching tomorrow.
Wow.
By the way, I'm leaving in 2 hours.
Wow.
I got a plane to catch at like 6 a.m. I got to go." I'm like, "Okay. Well, who's that guy that picked me up?" He goes, "That's your boss. That's the guy that owns the school." I said, "That is? That's not just some driver?" He goes, "No, that's going to be your boss for the next year." I said, "Great."
Oh my God,
so
dude.
I talked to this guy for 2 hours, and when we went outside to 7-Eleven to grab a drink at 2 a.m., I told him I want to walk around and look at the neighborhood. I grabbed my passport and put it in my pocket, just in case a cop stopped me on the street being like, "Hey, man, you know, you're a foreigner here. Let me see your passport." I had no idea.
Yeah.
Right.
And he could have just told me, "Dude, leave your passport. Don't worry about it." But I didn't have an ID card, so it was a good.
That's a good idea.
It was a good idea.
Yeah.
If you don't have an ID card, you need to have something on you.
Yeah.
But the point is, nobody's in this is not like in the middle of Seoul. This is in Gwangju, on the outskirts of Gwangju. But I was happy, exhausted. I went to sleep. I woke up 4 hours later, and I was in a classroom the next day. So
wow,
that's how I arrived.
How was that? How was your first experience? I mean,
you just go home. I started at 4 p.m. Finished at 10 p.m. I come home and buried my face in the pillow and just fell asleep.
Yeah.
Being exhausted from performing. You're on.
Right.
You're in front of a class, and these kids don't speak English well, and your job is to have a conversation with them. How do you have a conversation with somebody who doesn't speak your language?
Body language, man.
Right?
Yeah.
So my boss said, your job is pronunciation and conversation and to make English fun. So, when the class starts, hey, kids.
I'm white.
Welcome. Right. And then
I'm from New Jersey.
At the end of the day, you go home wiped out.
Yeah.
And it takes you a while to figure out how to, what do you call it? How to save your energy for the whole 4 or 5 hour shift. So eventually I'm going to class just totally chilled. And when kids are bad and acting up, I'm just thinking to myself, the parents are paying money for them to be in the school. No matter how bad these kids are, and I told the manager, hey, this kid's really, misbehaving. There's nothing I can do about it. I'm not going to change the philosophy of teaching in Korea. I'm not going to do all this great stuff, but just stick to being happy, being positive, and having fun with the kids. And don't worry about the bad kids. Save your energy. There's not much you can do with a hagwon job, with a private, that kind of a job. I came to Korea all ready to be this big time, by the book, language instructor teacher. And I got a pleasant surprise that that's not what they want. And not to get too deep into Korean education of English, it's kind of a boring topic, but for kids, they just want the kids to have fun learning English so that they enjoy English and don't look at it like math or science from a different perspective where there's a foreigner in class. Right. Because when a Korean is teaching English, then it becomes like math to them. But when I don't speak Korean, they have to learn English. So that's what I was hired to do, unlike Epic.
Right.
Which is the public school job.
Yeah.
So you've had numerous jobs. You've been here for how long then in Korea?
It's been over 7 years.
7 years?
I got here in 2010, May of 2010.
Wow.
So we're in August of 2017.
Dude,
right?
now you're just you probably know more about Korea than I do.
Koreans tell me I know so much about Korean culture that they're shocked.
You are you're like a pro. You're an actual professional Korean scholar.
If I got paid for it, I'd be professional. I would like to get paid. Actually, I've made some money doing some
stuff. articles, right?
That's right.
You did things outside of teaching.
I've written a lot of articles about Korean culture, certain things in Korean culture. I have been friends with guys that know more than me about Korean culture and that have led tours in the countryside of things, and I've learned from them about different kinds of culture. So all the different kinds of culture that exists, and in Korea, interesting things would be like the food culture, the hierarchy of a business, the underground sex culture. All this stuff I know all about. You put it together, I don't know how many people know about all those different things.
Yeah, man. So it's you are one of your biggest articles was, what's it called? We talked about it earlier today.
All right, so one of the articles I wrote about was fan death.
Yeah.
And that's one of the superstitions that Koreans have that foreigners find fascinating. Because I think it only exists in Korea. It's the only country in the world that believes it.
I think so.
So why don't you explain what it is?
So dumb. Oh my God. Please don't believe this shit. So basically, you leave the fan on all night, and you have the doors closed and the windows closed, whatever. And for some reason, whether it's the carbon monoxide or the pressure, I don't know what the hell they say.
You almost nailed both of the reasons. You just about nailed
Pretty
them.
much you die from that shit. You have it on running all night long, and the Koreans think that you die from that. But I think maybe the government pushed that because to conserve energy, maybe, right? Wouldn't you say that?
Why don't you talk about your theories about why you think people are saying that, and then I'll tell you what I know.
I think it's because of that.
Well, that might be one of the reasons. I mean, I personally I read Korean articles on the web all the time.
The best information you can get.
So I don't know if you're being sarcastic or not.
Is that what you're talking about? Naver? Naver.com?
Naver's just blogs from people who have no jobs.
Yeah, for people who don't know, Naver is it means neighbor but it's
it means neighbor.
Like sounds like neighbor, so they put that word neighbor.
Yeah, it's neighbor.
Neighbor.
Oh, I didn't know that.
So so I was like reading some articles, and my mom was like, "Yeah, look up like 선풍기 죽는 사람 or something." That's like fan death. What Steve was
someone who
about.
died from freaking.
So I looked it up, and there's some articles that about like deaths that really occurred due to
caused by fans.
They're theorized caused by like leaving a fan on, throughout the night. If you're sleeping, let's say you have your door closed and your fan is in the room, like your windows are all shut. There's like no way for there's nowhere for the air to go.
Yeah.
And if you like these people,
if somebody dies the next morning,
and then like these like there were a few cases that like of these occurrences. So like a number of people died actually from like supposedly leaving their fan on.
Wait, do you believe this?
All night?
Wait,
no. I'm just.
Oh, okay.
I used to believe it because like my mom was like,
but you saw this in blogs on Neighbor.
Yeah, actually, and they would show. I remember this one article. I was like, it was shocking because they showed the person's face.
How recent did that death happen?
This is like a decade ago, man. This is like 10 years.
2005 or 6
it was
or something like that.
It was like when I was in high school.
Not that long ago, if you think about it. Right?
So yeah, I mean, and their faces were like bloated because it was like, dude, I don't know what
their face imploded.
Yeah, it just looked like they turned into like a blowfish. And I was like, what the fuck? So after that, like I used to have my fan on all the time, and then my mom was like, "You're gonna die if you do that." So turn off the fucking fan.
All right. Well,
so what lay it down on us, man. What's the real deal here?
They interviewed a doctor, a Korean doctor at Seoul National University, which is like the Harvard of Korea, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I interviewed some of my friends in Korea and asked them, "What do you think about fan death?" And what my friends said, "Look, your grandma tells you that you could die if your fan is on in your room." And we just believed that. We never questioned it, and we never tried it either. We never tried to challenge it. It's stupid. So in the doctor, what I read was that the doctor said, you can't die from a fan blowing on you. You can't die from hypothermia. You can't die from freezing to death by a fan blowing on you, because you might wake up before you freeze to death.
You might
Number
know,
one, right?
Yeah.
The other thing is the fan is not chopping up oxygen molecules in the room. The fan is not chopping up the air. The fan is not causing electrical currents or something that will kill you. The fan is not creating a vacuum, as you mentioned.
Mm-hmm.
What is happening likely is that people are dying of old age. Or people are they've been drinking soju and beer their whole life that when they die of alcoholism, you can't tell little Johnny, your uncle drank himself to death. But you can say something like, your uncle passed away because of the fan.
No way.
My coworker actually told me the same thing. He said it's because of, it's just misinformation, man.
Or suicides. There's a lot of suicides.
Well, then why would, like, these news reports, that's like, I guess I read, I don't remember like, which news magazine companies,
It's not from Naver, is it?
Yeah.
Well, the doctor also said that these news reporters, they don't do proper, they don't check how the people died. Right. They don't do,
there's no autopsy.
Check their liver failed. They just make the easy excuse. Well, nobody touched them and they died. Must be the fan.
Yeah.
Or suicide, but they don't want to say they killed themselves. They blame it on fan death. And that's why in Korea, all the fans have timers on them, but nowhere else in the world do fans have timers.
That is so fucking interesting. Check out Steve's article on that.
Yeah.
Yeah, what do you type in to go to that? Just like fan death? Death fan?
So there's a magazine in Korea. There's an English language magazine in Korea. It's called Gwangju News Magazine, and it's written all by volunteers. And it comes out of an organization that's in the big Gwangju, Jeollado Gwangju. And they've been publishing it for 20 years. It's actually the oldest running English magazine of any kind in Korea. But a lot of people don't know about it because you got to be on the subscriber list to get it. You don't buy it at a store. But anyway, when I lived in the city for a long time, I contributed maybe 30 or 40 stories to them. That's one of them. So they're online now, and the website is GwangjuNews.com. So should I spell it out? It's a GwangjuNews.com.
And we'll have that in the description link below, so you can, you guys, if you want to check it out, you can click that link.
If you go there and you search my name, Stephen, all my articles pop up on it.
And you said that particular article was like, it's like the most read article.
I guess people go to Google and search fan death, and that comes up number one.
It's so fun. And when you
so the admin on that website says, "Dude, you're driving all this traffic to awesome, the website."
Man. When I saw fan death, I thought it was like talking about like Korean fans, like
that's what I thought too.
K-pop, like K-pop star fans they're a different kind of animal here. Like fans in Korea are fucking insane.
They'll have a shrine.
Yeah,
of that
dude,
person.
They
just
literally
start praying.
I mean, this is a whole nother topic, but like the extremity is like ridiculous. So, like girls, like teenage girls would they would have their period, and they would take pictures.
Where are you going with this?
This is getting very interesting.
They would take pictures of their bloody tampon. And like
they don't use tampons though,
or like whatever Koreans use, that
little diper things.
What
do you call that? Oh yeah, pads.
Yeah. And they would
Steven, what are you talking about?
They would.
Why are you looking at us like we're weird?
It's the same thing, all right? A maxi pad, a diaper, or whatever. It's the same fucking thing, isn't it? You either stick it in or it's a pad, right?
Jesus Christ.
We'll call it a diper for
That's when you know these guys are from Jersey.
Obviously, I'm a female and I know all about it, right?
Exactly. So they would take pictures of these bloody tampons and send them to like these celebrities' emails, or they'll post it on
the picture of it.
Yeah, the picture of it, or they'll post it on blogs like, this is for my love for, like, this is how much I love you, like. And then they would do some crazy shit like that. So that's the first thing I thought about.
Oh my god!
When you said fan death. So
really? Like, all right. So I'm trying to make a connection. Somebody who's a fan, and blood is death.
So some people get really extreme where like they would have like heart attacks during concerts and stuff. So like,
well, yeah, there's like fans like that in the States,
right,
but like
for like Michael Jackson, like his concerts.
I mean, that's like whatever, but. Like
fans do crazy stuff.
That's crazy though. Tampons. It's like, what are you trying to prove? I mean, or maxi pads.
That's like something that I would think would go on in Japan. But
Korea.
Japan has that crazy porno stuff with the fans going on, where they send bottles of jizz and stuff like that. But
they
do shit like that.
I believe that, but
they do shit like that over there.
But I guess they want to tell.
I want to know about this.
True story.
But I guess they want to tell the celebrities like, oh, like I'm fresh, like, you know what I mean? I'm fresh, and no one popped me. I popped myself. You know what I mean? Right?
Which pop are you talking about?
Yeah, which pop? Elaborate the word pop.
The guy pop or
girl
pop?
Wait.
Which kind of pop?
Wait. But wait. So these bloodied up tampons or pads, is that their first blood? Like this? Is that
it could be. I don't know. I didn't ask.
No, that's what they're intending to say. It might be, right? Yeah. Like, hey, you know what I mean?
You mean this is like a girl that likes some hot, like a Big Bang, like a pop star, like that?
Yeah, they would actually.
Big Bang.
I mean, if you really want to see, you can search on like the obviously
boy bands,
and like.
All right.
Dude, they would love to get trained by all those dudes. I'm sorry.
Wait a minute. So the girls that like girl bands, they don't send that shit. What do they send to the girls they like? I don't
know, flowers. I don't know about the girls, but
that is so screwed up. Why doesn't a girl just do something like put some lipstick on and kiss a napkin and send?
That's like very very basic stuff. And like there are actual like fan base. There are fans that actually like stalk the celebrities, because Korea is a very small country. You know, it's not like. You can, celebrity lives
right around the corner.
They're from LA, but they bought a house in Alpine or something, right? It's not like
Alpine,
that.
New
So
Jersey.
It's like, if you get if you buy a really nice house,
celebrity, you can't do anything in Korea anymore.
Dude,
like free.
People go through their trashes,
right?
Sniff their like toilet paper.
Exactly, man.
After you took a huge deuce.
Jeez.
Dude, that was funny.
Personal
Keep
story.
it up, man. Keep it going. Keep it going.
My bad.
Keep it going. I love that.
Jeez.
That's cracking me up, man.
Talk about I think we need a therapy session for you.
Is this an intervention?
Yeah.
So I noticed that too. Just fandom is a big deal. If you're on TV, they're so into just like I've been on TV like 4 times.
What the hell?
Not because I'm talented, just because I'm, I guess, white and
you did porn.
That would be amazing. No, just news stuff, like interviews about like what's news things, and just like I tell people I've been on TV, they freak out. Like it's like an amazing thing. It's just not an amazing thing. It's just me being at the right place at the right time. That's it. Yeah.
Like because of your articles, or like just based on like they're just like, hey,
just
you're a white person, so can we?
No, just they love fame. If you're on TV. Or if you do anything that is creating some kind of content or something like what we're doing now, even, believe it or not, they just look at it like you're not a normal person anymore. You're a level above. What do we call it? Star fuckers? You know?
Yeah, star fuckers. What's that movie?
Something like that. I made a big jump.
There's a movie about it.
I'm hoping I can make that jump with this podcast, by the way.
Came to the right place.
Damn. Yo, I gotta take a piss, man. So you guys go.
We'll wrap. We're just gonna miss some of the best stuff.
Yeah, man. You're gonna talk about like a lot of other shit. I know. But
yeah.
Do you feel like there are advantages of being like a Caucasian person in Korea? Like,
so I made a joke about this to my friend in the States. I said, I know in the States it's tough if you're a minority, but I'm very, very lucky that in Korea being a minority gets me paid a lot of money. I make a good living in Korea because I'm a white guy, and I'm just totally honest about it. And I think about it a lot, and I appreciate it, and I never take it for granted. So when I first came to Korea, I was an inexperienced teacher, but I decided that I love the life of teaching. And I want to keep doing this at some capacity, even if it's not Korea. So I have done a lot of continuing education. I got certifications, and I'm 80% finished with graduate school. I'll have a master's degree in education. So I want to do this as a career, but I do think that Korea really places a high value on appearances.
That's true.
And looks.
That
right?
is very true.
So when they first see me, they see I'm a white guy, and then they assume I'm American. There's no possible way I can be from France or Germany or South Africa. I'm automatically American.
Right.
And with my case, it's true. But once they meet me, and after the first minute of me just being who I am, then they appreciate me as an individual. And they'll be willing to pay me for private English classes, let's say, for example, or hire me to work at their school, or whatever it is that they want. But they could meet me just being a white guy from America and think, wow, I can't understand his accent. He's not very friendly. I'm not comfortable around him. And then they would not be interested in talking to me anymore. Wow. So it goes beyond just being white. You got to be a good person
exactly
to make it here,
and also, and this is the thing, man, coming from, because I'm a recruiter. I don't know if I told you that, like I'm a recruiter. So first of all, your recruiters, that person sucked fucking ass. Like he couldn't get in touch with you, like
which the
Gwangju job, like because you got to the airport. It's like, dude, I will be freaking out if I were you.
The recruiter finally got me that bus ticket. They did just enough, but maybe I was just worrying too much. I need the comfort of a guy with a sign with my name on it.
45 minutes?
Yeah, you need someone to talk to.
Oh, you're right.
You know what I'm saying, right? Like at the airport, like you need someone to be able to
hold my hand from airplane to apartment. Right.
Right. Or at least like talk to you, like tell you like, all right, listen, like you're here now, you got to get to this place, like talk to you.
You know, on the recruiter websites, you take the best feedback and put it public. Like, I got a limo ride to my apartment. I'm just exaggerating, but like I read that and I said, wow, this sounds great. somebody's going to hold a sign with my name on it
with a limo.
With a limo, and that did not happen. So yeah.
Yeah, I mean, like, so as a recruiter, like, I just have to get this out there, but like, race is such a big factor, like you talked about, people's appearances. So, and a lot more people know this now than before. Like, if you're an African American or if you have like darker skin, like skin tone, like you.
Like, what are you trying to say, boy?
You're getting a lot of sun.
Yeah.
Healthy. Too much sun.
So like then they would like director, like, you know, school, like the directors would automatically be like, no, you can't even interview that person because of the color of his skin or her skin. And also, like, if it was someone like Steven, a white person, but had like a thick accent from South Africa or something,
right?
They would be like, no, we just can't. The kids wouldn't understand him. So like they automatically assume that if you're white, you're American.
And you're a great teacher,
too.
Yeah,
you're just automatically a great certified teacher.
If you're white, you're perfect.
Yeah,
exactly.
Like,
that's it. And
white power.
I try to prove them right. I try hard to prove them right. But you need to be more than just white. You need to be able to be a good person and be friendly. But my second year I decided to stay for a second year at that school I started with.
Damn.
And I won't get too much into it. One of my worst experiences in Korea was that decision. Make a long story short, school ran out of money and I lost a ton of money.
Holy fuck.
But I wanted to leave and I told the guy, I'll find another teacher for you. Like, I'll jump off the sinking ship and invite somebody else on the sinking ship, basically. I didn't know it was a sinking ship, by the way. I didn't know what the hell was going on.
Right, or you would have got off.
I don't know. It's not my country, not my language. It's not. I'm just some teacher that lives in America that the guy says, please don't leave this school. I'll pay you later. Don't leave.
I'll pay you later.
Right? And if you leave, you can't get paid.
So how'd you take that?
I don't want to get into that. So
okay, my bad.
I tried to find another teacher and I went on Facebook and I said, there's a school here that will take you part-time and will pay you part-time. And I told the boss, I found some people. Here's one person, here's another person. And he looked and he said, well, this person's black. I said, okay. I said, well, they're from USA. They're not from like English is their first language.
Yeah.
And he goes, Steven, and he goes, it's a girl too. It's a woman. I said, yeah. He goes, Steven, I need somebody that looks like you.
Jeez.
And I said, why?
It's for the parents,
what for?
right?
Why? And he said, the parents can't handle it.
Yep. And it's so amazing to me because, like, you know, the schools they're like supposed to be the educational experts and guide the parents, guide the students to have like a certain idea of what kind of, you know, about, you know, all this discrimination shit, and like just kind of be able to be like, listen, I know what's good for your kid and it has nothing to do with the color of that person's skin, where that person comes from. I will like, you know, you pay me money, I'll get this done. You know what I'm saying? Like I am the expert here. Just shut up. Like, but it's like the other way around.
Every year on Facebook, a new teacher will post some kind of a post on a Facebook group with thousands of people pointing out that they got discriminated against like that. And for a lot of us who have been here for many years, it's kind of like, well, that's the way it is, and they don't know it. But you can't say that because you get, you know, backlash. But this is when I look at it like this. Korea is not the USA. And
it's a very homogenous country.
I don't think it's right to discriminate on anybody based on what this color of their skin. You want to know who they are as a person, as an individual. Yeah. But at the same time, you can't hold Korea and all of its culture and people to the same standard as
that is true too.
America or Canada. And if you do that, okay, it's morally correct not to discriminate against people, and that's the right thing to do. And Koreans know it is, but they're just a little bit on the ignorant side because the population here is 99% Korean. That is true. They just don't know any better. I mean, with those standards at a private school, you know, Barack Obama cannot be an English teacher at a Hagwon, and his English is perfect, right? The way he speaks, a little bit slow, but he can't work at that school because he's too old and he's not the right color. But I give Koreans a pass in that they just don't know. They're not hate. Mm-hmm. They're not filled with hate. Mm-hmm. It's just an ignorant thing thinking that I can teach English better than somebody who's black or older than me or that doesn't fit their image. But it's a sad thing that minorities get rejected for private schools. But EPIC is there. I always tell people public school jobs don't do that. You can get a public school job.
I mean, it's getting better now. It's getting a lot better. Of course, like Korea is like one of the wealthiest countries in the world now, and also like there is a lot. It's not just English teachers. There are foreigners coming in from all over the world now because like they're opening the market now for, they're introducing other foreign like companies into Korea nowadays. You know what I'm saying? So like they're being introduced more and more to like foreigners and other kinds of people. So it's getting better, but still there is an ignorance. It's just tough for someone like me to like when I set up an interview for this teacher and they're like. And I talked to the director and she's like, yeah, but she's black. And I got to tell that teacher like, oh, she's like, why was I rejected? I'm like, they just went with another teacher with more experience. That's like usually my answer. But
it's a white lie.
It's such a white lie. And like, that's the hardest thing.
Right. Listen, Joe, how can we change that?
You can't.
What can we do to
just with time?
I think it will change.
It will
as
change.
Parents get younger. Parents get younger and generations.
Right.
They have I think they have this day especially in the public schools where they acknowledge, they try to appreciate. They say tamuna, which is what multicultural, whatever it is. They're referring to Southeast Asians, maybe, right? So they're trying to make awareness of the discrimination against Southeast Asians. And like we have a lot of Southeast Asians here in Gyeonggi, Gwangju.
There's a lot, don't you think?
Yeah, there's a lot of factory jobs that are on the outskirts of the city
everywhere.
Wealthy Korean guys that own these factories, they get cheap labor. They get foreigners that come in, and it seems like it's more and more and more every year. Yeah,
it's legal, right? They're hiring them legally.
Yeah, legally.
Okay.
I mean,
I think of it. I'm so ignorant because I think of like. When like back in the States, like there's like
Jersey, there are some illegal. There are some illegal workers too. That's why they had a crackdown downtown. And like last year, I was with my cousin Jason, and so he and I we just worked out. We had just worked out, and we're walking down the street, right, past Kimbap Jungkook, that place
by the post office over there.
Yeah,
right?
The post office, right? These cops stopped us, both of us, because Koreans don't really wear tanks or sleeveless.
You got caught on your fashion that you're not from Korea. Really?
100%. First of all, you can say that I'm a bit tanner on the tanner side as well. And I was wearing like a snapback with a tank and whatever. I just got out of the gym. We're just trying to eat. We're literally just trying to
get some
eat.
grub.
I want to eat, boy. And then
are the cops trying to play like they're gonna ask even native Koreans for their ID, or they're trying to ask everybody, or they just played you as you're American?
No, I asked them. I said, why are you stopping us? And they said they're trying to crack down on illegal workers that are foreigners. And he got it right. Okay, I'm a foreigner, right?
And you're teaching, yeah. I mean,
I didn't tell him that I'm teaching, but for the most part, in his head, he's thinking there's these two dudes, like they just don't look like they belong here. And my cousin is huge. Yeah, you saw him, right?
Yeah.
Jason?
He's
right?
jacked.
Yeah, man. He's pretty big as well. And plus, he has all the tattoos. Like, he's an ex-Marine. And that's kind of like, well, he described it as an ex-Marine. I mean, a Marine thing, like having all these
tattoos? I mean, being a gangster and a Marine are two totally different things.
Very different, man. Very different. So, like, anyways, he has a bunch of tattoos, right? And he has like
you can get a tattoo for anything these days.
He's got a leg sleeve as well.
Oh,
so it's different. You know what I mean?
I think they call it a boot now. I think they call it a boot.
Oh, do
really?
they? Oh,
I just made that up. I don't know.
Okay.
Did you just make that up?
I just made it up.
All right. So anyways, we were just walking down and they were like, where's your passport? Where's this? Where's that? And so like, I don't carry around my passport. So I'm like, I was like, I live here. So I don't carry around my passport. And they're like, you got to give us the number for it. If we catch you walking around without a passport, we have to fine you X amount.
Or the card. right? The ID card, right?
Yeah, the ARC card, but he wants the
That's not enough?
But he wants the passport.
Wow.
Because he's on his stupid phone. He's on the phone with someone at the station, right? Like, this is a big thing. We're literally against the wall. Like,
dude, what?
I'm not playing.
I know you're not playing
because I'm
I
like,
just can't imagine
mad.
two big ass dudes and like two scrawny policemen, like,
dude,
up against the wall.
Test me. Just kidding.
Jeez,
so
man.
yeah, like, anyways, Jason had to give. He had his information obviously on top of his head, so like we got through with the process. But
can you imagine that was the one day that Steven got caught and he decided to not bring his passport outside the first day? They wouldn't check him. They wouldn't check him.
Right.
When you said that you had
no. But look, in Gwangju, if you were in my position, they wouldn't check him. They're looking for like dark tan
like
skin, like Southeast Asian.
Oh, okay, not a
like
Caucasian.
Illegal factory working.
Oh, really?
Peeps.
I'm gonna assume that you're sure about that because they wouldn't stop me.
They 100% they wouldn't stop you. They just say, okay, you're just a native English speaker that's working
so they're
locally
looking for,
here.
quote unquote migrant workers.
Yeah, like they're not expecting me to be a native English teacher. Like, look at my face.
Yeah,
I'm like,
right.
you know what I mean? So,
but like, I feel like with the
that's
tattoo things, it's like Korea's like,
it's different though. Korea's a little like, you know, they got some things going on, but Jason's tattoo is as American as it gets. He's got the tribal thing. Mm-hmm. He's got the angel wing. He's got the leg sleeve. He's got the Hawaiian thing on his arm as well.
Dude, like tattoos are huge in Korea right now. Like out of 10 dudes, like in their 20s,
maybe
and 30s,
Hongdae, Itaewon, those kind of places.
Not even like just like Pundang, like my area too. Like it's like I would say half.
You got a tattoo, Steven?
I've been thinking about
it. Good old tramp stamp.
Yeah, how'd you guess? You want to see my butterfly? Hold on, let me bend over.
Good old Jersey butterfly.
I always just call those things. Well, never mind. I've been thinking about it for. I don't have any tattoos, but I want to get one just because I'm inspired by doing something different than everybody else. So Koreans all have English writing tattoos. A lot of them have English writing somewhere. And I thought, you're Korean, but you want English writing. Hangul is beautiful. Why not get your own language? But to them, it's not cool. Yeah. So I want to get a Hangul tattoo because it's not my language.
You should get a Wegugin. Wegugin means foreigner. I know. For folks out there.
Yeah.
You know with there's actually like if you try to get a tattoo like in another language, a lot of times you don't speak the language, so it looks really fucking stupid. But to you, it looks cool, right? Because it's like Chinese letters. And
I would do two things. I would have a couple Korean friends double check it and make sure that it's cool legit. And it's normal and it's not like it doesn't translate to chicken soup or whatever it is.
You don't want some Korean dudes pulling a prank on you and it just says like cock on your forehead.
And number two, if people ask me about what is it, I'll say I lived in Korea for 7 years. It's part of my life.
Right. Yeah.
You can't take that away. That's my story.
That's you, man. That's
my
you.
story. Yeah. You know? So I thought about getting a tattoo that says Jayu in Hangul.
Shit. Jayu.
And get it right here on this part here, which is on my right collarbone, because this space over my heart would be American stuff. So if I travel around and I want to travel more in my life, it would be more of kind of like a story of where I've been. And if I get one, I don't have any now, but I guess if I get one, you can't just get one, right? So you got to plan for the future. So I have a little plan in my head of what I might do in the future.
For those of you out there who don't speak Korean, Chayu means freedom. So wow, is that like a particular meaning
freedom
for you? Freedom
is a concept to me that is one of the most important values in my life. And when people... If you ask me why am I doing this, the decision always goes back to freedom. People are like, well, you know, you're 40 years old. Why aren't you married? Freedom. I like my freedom. Mm-hmm. There's other reasons too, but
I respect that.
You know, when I meet a lot of married people and they're miserable, it makes me appreciate my freedom. Mm-hmm. Why are you living in Korea? Because I have a place where I get paid for my talents. And I feel free here. How do you feel free? I can hop on my motorcycle. I can ride around town. I can go to my jobs. I don't have police officers pulling me over because I went 5 miles per hour too much over the speed limit. Mm-hmm. And there's so many, I feel so free right now living in Korea. And I've always decided on I've always appreciated the freedom in my life has been so important to me that it's a concept that's important to me, basically.
Damn, man.
Can I ask you about like riding bikes here? So what kind of bike do you have exactly? Is it a scooter or a bike?
Bikes.
Like
I have two Mirage, Hyosung Mirage 250s.
Mm-hmm.
And the first bike I got, when I came to Korea the first year, I saw some dude that was riding around on a beat up 125 cc bike, and I said to him, you take that to work? He goes, yeah. I don't have a car. I just ride this around. I said, do you have a license? He goes, no. I said, do you have insurance for it? He goes, no. I said, is that illegal? He goes, yeah. And
so what?
And I said,
the fuck you want?
This was an American guy, and he said,
okay.
Yeah, just don't crash into anybody. I said, we're the police. He goes, they don't care. So, like an idiot, I followed suit, and I bought my first bike. Another freedom thing. I've never ridden a motorcycle before, and I always wanted to. I bought a bike for $500. The same kind of bike that guy had, all in black. And there I was, no license. I never rode a bike before, no nothing. I bought a bike and rode around the block for a weekend. And now I'm a motorcycle guy.
Oh, that's crazy.
That's cool,
you just did it.
I just fucking did it.
What type of bike is it? Like a tour bike? Like what?
It's like a Harley Davidson type.
Nice.
Like
so you just cruise around like locally.
I just use it as my A to B.
Okay.
Just get to work.
You don't travel any farther.
I don't do any treks on it. Why? Because I buy cheap bikes and I'm worried about them fucking breaking down when I go out.
That would be pretty bad.
Right.
If I spend $5,000 on a bike, I want a garage. I want a place to keep it nice.
And you need the engine to be more powerful.
I want it to be
well.
clean. I mean, run well. I have not spent the money for that. I've spent. My first bike was $500. My second bike was like $1,200. Beautiful used bike. And I drove that from the big Gwangju to the small Gwangju. And by the way, that's a 2-day trek, by the way. Man. And I did that. And it broke down on the way, by the way. So that's a different story. But it sits outside and it gets dusty, the yellow dust. The bike deteriorates so fast sitting outside in Korea that I wouldn't want to buy a nice bike unless I can really... put it in a garage or somewhere safe.
Mm-hmm.
It's hard to clean a bike out here. There's no, like in America, you know how there's a hose you can hook up on every building?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
There's no hoses around.
Right.
Outside.
There's no hoses outside.
You got to go out there you fill up a bucket here and take it down.
Yeah.
Too fucking lazy, actually.
Yeah.
But I have two Mirage 250s. They're awesome.
Mm-hmm.
250 I recommend you get because the 125 is like those delivery bikes.
Yeah.
And they're fine, but if you put another person on the back of it, it slows down. So the 250, it's not like it's much faster. It's just more powerful.
Right. Okay. And why don't you explain to the people what yellow dust is, Joe?
I'm sorry, who?
Is there can I get some more beer or are we out? Is it just soju?
No, it's beer.
Oh, there we go.
Yeah. This is the bigger version of Cass, everybody.
Cass!
Yes, sir. Yeah.
Got that chaos.
We're drinkers.
Yeah.
And that is soju. This is the Korean manners. If someone's older, I gotta do this, and then
yeah, he's gotta grab his little titty.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh yeah, don't make that noise.
Oh wow, that's pretty bad.
And what Steve here is doing is he's making something called soul
mech. And go ahead, you can explain that, sir.
And so it's called soul mech because soul from soju and mech from mekju. Mekju being the beer. So. Part of it. So yeah, you just mix them bad boys up.
Yes, sir. Normally you get a chopstick, put it in there, and then hit it with another chopstick, and it'll kind of foam up, and then is that really does that really mix it, or is it just kind of a cool effect?
Yeah, it's got to do something.
I only do that when girls are watching.
Yeah, girls love that shit. Girls love those those little soju tricks, and then that twirl. Mm-hmm. They love that. Like, oh,
the soju tornado.
Yeah, so yellow dust. Back to that is
yeah. What's yellow dust, man?
No, it's yellow dust is
it's a yellow fever like what you have.
It's the bad
Wait, can
chemical
he have
produce.
yellow fever?
No.
Oh, yeah, that's
Is
not
it
true.
just white guys to Asian
That's
girls?
that's
How does it work?
Right,
Or
right.
Am I wrong?
I don't know. I just realized.
I know I'm suffering from Asian fever.
Right.
I'm really suffering. It's really. I'm in pain. It's
Dude, his face is so sincere.
It's killing
me.
me.
It's like shit.
He's so emphatic.
So-
but
we got yellow dust. Is what he's talking about.
yeah. So
It's bad chemical produced from like factories and industrial facilities in China. That's what yellow dust is.
Did you read that article recently? They say that 52% actually comes domestically here.
Yes,
from the
actually, yeah,
industries.
that's right.
Studied by NASA. So all the Koreans
Why are
who
you
are
so
like,
excited about this?
Because by the way, you're reading my mind. I kept my mouth shut because I heard that too. I'd let you say it.
Yeah, because as you guys are well aware that all the Koreans point the finger at China, right? But little do they know, NASA, you're gonna, I mean, that's what
It's
they say.
true though. Korea
40% China, that is a huge amount, okay? So it's not like they're completely wrong. Like, I'm not debunking anything, but pretty much like, yeah, we're saying like half of the portion is pretty much coming from here domestically.
Because Korea is a huge mining country. They have mining factories everywhere. It's just but nobody really talks about it.
The impact, if you don't know, of yellow dust is when you go outside, your car, your bike, everything outside is coated with a light yellow dust.
That's why Joe's pretty yellow right now. I mean, look at his pigment.
and they say there's a yellow dust season, but I find it's all
What is it,
year,
spring?
all year round. But
all the time.
the thing is that
Spring, right? Is it spring?
yeah, it's spring.
Summer. It's
It's
to me
April and May.
not
That's
in
when
to me it's not in the middle of winter. Other than that, it's all the time.
Yeah, it probably is in winter, but you just don't care because it's so fucking cold. You don't care about anything else. But the thing is, yeah, you'll come to Korea and you'll probably be wearing a mask at some point in your time here. Like, do you do that?
I refuse.
You wear that
I
Korean
refuse.
mask?
What about you?
I just figure I'm gonna die sometime, so why not just fuck that mask? Don't wear that mask. I don't wear the mask because it gets all hot and wet and kind of nasty. And when I'm riding my bike, that you should wear a mask, right? I bought all different kinds of masks and tried them.
Wait. You should wear a mask when you're riding your bike.
Especially when you're riding
Dude,
a motorcycle,
absolutely, right? Because
Oh.
that's your
But I just hold my breath.
when you're riding your bike.
I'm kidding.
It's like when your boy farts.
You. I just think
You just gotta hold that
Yeah.
shit.
Damn.
It just gets uncomfortable to wear a mask. You can't breathe in. Listen, I don't wear. It's not that bad to me. Some Koreans will not leave the house on a dusty day, and when I go out there, to me, it's not that bad.
You know, it's a fashion thing nowadays in Asia, in Japan culture too. So they
What do you know about Japan?
I know the story he's about to tell, so go ahead.
No, actually, like in Sweden,
Talking
I
about
think.
the sneakers.
No.
Oh.
In Sweden, they develop. I guess they have some sort of
I know that.
pollution
one.
dust too.
Yeah.
I want to hear that after.
All right.
But they have this mask. They developed a mask. It's like super fucking cool looking. It looks like Bane's mask, but it has
I'm gonna go out to the mall looking like Bane.
it has like
So
a
attractive.
hydration
I do that.
filter system.
on
Do
Halloween.
that?
On Halloween, I look like Scorpion from Mortal Kombat.
Oh, okay, I see that.
Yeah, some
But
girls might be into that
They
shit.
have that like hydration filter system now, so you don't sweat anymore.
Oh, so they have better masks.
Yeah, they
for
have
that?
like cooler
Maybe
looking
I'll do
Bane
that.
masks.
It's just another
But it's
routine when I get on my bike every day. My only routine is put the helmet on, put the shades on, and go.
Nice.
I mean, it's gotten worse. I used to put gloves on. I don't even put gloves on anymore.
Jeez, man.
Like, did you see what I'm wearing now? I'll hop on a bike. I'm not as bad as Korean delivery guys. You see them? They hop on a
Dude.
bike,
They're just in a
with
shirt
no
with the
helmet.
shorts. Yeah.
a t-shirt,
Sandals and
like swimming shorts, plastic shower slippers, and a cigarette in their mouth.
Yeah.
How the fuck you ride a bike with a cigarette in your mouth?
Dude,
I
have
don't know,
no
but
fucking
and they
idea,
race.
They race
Through-
down the street.
Yeah.
Like just swerving.
man. That is insane.
Just maneuvering. Yeah.
But
Ju-
back to the sneakers thing. I want to hear this. What is
so-
that?
But you
in-
wear boots though, right? You wear boots? Do you wear boots?
Well,
Isn't it pretty important to wear boots?
You don't need to boots.
Oh,
Just
yeah?
I don't wear sandals, but I just wear sneakers or fine, whatever. It's fine.
I heard people say like that's pretty fucking
Well,
important.
listen, it's stupid. I crashed twice.
You crashed
What?
twice.
Yeah, I went down twice. So I dropped
So
my
one-
bike twice. So 2 or 3 times.
Dude.
And luckily when that happened, I did have gloves on. So when I'm on that bike with no gloves, and I always wear my helmet, but with no gloves, I think to myself, man, I'm fucked if my hands are gonna be skinned, man, if I fall. But
someone hit you or you hit someone?
When you ride a motorcycle, if you ride it a lot and you're fine, you get you take it for granted. You get complacent. Mm-hmm. But you can drop off that bike for any reason. Just think about it.
You gotta focus.
A little pebble can fucking hit your eye and you're done.
Even if like while you're turning or something, it can happen.
So I was going home in the rain.
You can slide.
The first time I crashed on that first bike, I was going home in the rain, and I was 1 minute away from my apartment. And in Korea, when you're on a road that's a bridge where there's a river underneath, for some reason along the road it's like metal ties.
Yep.
Like something like on a railroad tie, but not as high.
Yes, I know what you're talking about.
And sometimes they don't line up. So and it wasn't even that much. It was like this much, which is a half an inch.
And it threw you off.
And I went to change lanes, and the bike did not change lanes.
Shit.
And the bike just, I was not going so fast. I was slowing down. It was about midnight, and it was a light rain. And the bike just came out from under me, and I went over the bike. And I'm rolling down the street, and because it was raining, I was more sliding. It wasn't that impactful. It wasn't like that painful. And there I am, and I'm laying out on the road, and taxis are whizzing by me. Nobody's stopping.
Holy Jesus!
And I get up.
No one cares. They're just like,
people have places to go. People are too busy. That's part of Korean culture. It is kind of. Strangers you don't readily help strangers because you don't know who they are. But by the way, this was not in the middle of the day. Somebody would have stopped. At night, it's just the occasional taxi. And guys that drive taxis, in my opinion, are not the cream of the crop in Korea.
In terms of morality.
I look at them as kind of just angry old men.
That's majority. There's a whole different story I can talk about.
So I got up. I looked at myself over and said, I got all my limbs. I got all my pieces. My knee's a little beat up. My phone was smashed, gone. And I got my bike. The handle was bent to the side. And the place I bought the bike was a 5-minute walk. I pushed my bike and left the keys in it and walked home.
Oh.
And that was it.
That's
I crashed the
pretty
bike
fortunate.
and I never went to the hospital.
Yeah, you didn't go to the hospital?
I was fine. Just my knee was a little beat up. And I went to work the next day. And
wow.
But despite the dangers of that, like you still like.
After that, I rode a bike. You feel to your head. You can crash at any time. At any time, you can crash.
So, but you still like it's the thrill of riding. Is that
you get over it? You get over it, and you figure you got to get to work.
It's kind of like the process of just learning how to ride your bike. Just you're improving your bike skill. I bought another bike
that I felt more comfortable on. I felt that bike was not that balanced or kind of tipsy-turvy. What's the term? The other bike I bought was a real, it had upgraded suspension.
Okay.
It was like floating. Mm-hmm. And the guy I bought it from was like a 300-pound guy.
Oh,
and okay. I weigh like $150. Mm-hmm. So I got on that bike. It was like on a dream. So I felt much better on that bike.
So do you drive?
Yeah.
So now for 5 years, I've been fine. I'm very careful. I stop way ahead of time. I'm not always in that road rage in a hurry type attitude. And I've been fine. But you never know when that taxi driver cuts you off, or you never know when something that little oil slick you don't see, you could crash at any time on a bike.
That is so dangerous, man. I can't do that.
Do you still ride during nights, rain, and whatever?
I try not to ride in the rain.
Yeah.
If I get stuck, I'll go very slowly. Mm-hmm. But if it rains, I'll take the bus or a taxi.
Okay.
And if it snows, I've been out in the snow. You cannot ride a bike in the snow.
Yeah.
Man, you cannot ride a bike in the snow.
You. That's pretty stupid to do that.
I went out and just went around the block and came back home.
Yeah.
And said, screw it. I'll call my student and tell him I'm not going to make it until another half hour later or whatever.
Yeah.
I was curious. Oh, go ahead.
And Yeah, man, and you've been dating, man. You've been in the game. So why don't you tell us your perspective since you're a white dude here in Korea, man?
Somebody said that if you're white, that Asian girls will like you more, or that you're more handsome. But when I came here, I found that that's not true. Just being white doesn't get you a ticket to a date, you know.
But is it because you were in Gwangju rather than being here next to Seoul? Is it? I think there's maybe a difference in how girls approach you.
No, I think in Seoul, in every Korean city, you have Korean women that are interested in English and interested in American culture or Canada or a foreign country's culture. Mm-hmm. You just have more in Seoul. And in Gwangju, you had every year you would have a number of girls that would come out and hang out at places where foreigners would flock to, like certain bars or clubs, because they were interested in possibly meeting a foreigner and speaking English with them or something like that. And in Seoul, you have a lot more. In Seoul, I would go out and I would get like 5 numbers in a night. And I would go out the next night and meet all different girls and get like 5 numbers. And in Gwangju, I would go out and get like 1 or 2 numbers during the week. And then the next week, I'd see them again. So a big city, you see new people all the time. Sure. Smaller city, you see the same people all the time. That's it.
I feel like there are certain types of girls that are in Korea that are really interested in the foreigners.
It depends on where you go then, right? Because like if you go to like Hongdae or Itaewon, you're going to find those kind of girls that are interested in
true. Yeah,
because the foreign community is strong there, right?
Definitely.
It's also like, I don't know, they dress a certain way, they look a certain way too, because I feel like they want to appeal, or that's just their personal style, but they kind of want to appeal to the foreigner, you know, like foreigners' tastes. I think so. Like some girls tend to dress more provocatively, or like
show that skin.
I don't know, like they get tan more. It's like, you know, I don't know. It's just, you could tell like when you see a girl, it's like, okay, she's kind of, maybe she grew up in the States, or she grew up like abroad, or she studied abroad, but she has a like different type of like aura to her.
And Steven, can you tell the difference between a Korean girl and a Korean American girl, or still you haven't?
Now you can tell.
You can tell now.
Based on the style of makeup, how they wear their makeup,
right.
and how they wear
That's
their clothes.
A big giveaway.
Korea has their style here. It's a unique style. And they don't know anything else. They might watch movies and TV shows, but I don't think they would watch Friends and cut their hair like Rachel.
Right.
They just watch Friends and laugh at it and think that show's really cute. I like it, but they still dress and do everything the Korean culture style.
Korean way.
So I've been to China. I mean, not China. I've been to Hong Kong and I've been to Japan, and I noticed differences in makeup, differences in hairstyles, and differences in clothes. And I think I can tell a difference between like a Japanese girl and a Korean girl and a girl from China at the same time, I think.
Wow.
Based on the makeup. If, you know, we're just talking 80% of the time.
Right,
you know?
Yeah.
Not everybody's the same.
You can never...
But what you're saying is right. Like, Itaewon is the area where the American military has been there for 50 years. And it's been gentrified. Now it's a place to have delicious food at restaurants. And a lot of Korean girls get dressed to kill, like they're going to a club. They look beautiful, and they go to Itaewon. And I don't think it's just to meet foreigner people and to have a boyfriend or girlfriend. Yeah. They just want to be around foreigners.
Yeah.
They want to hear English.
Atmosphere. Yeah.
Because a lot of those girls, if I go up to them and say hi to them in Itaewon, they're just like, oh, my English is terrible. I don't speak English. I don't want to speak English or whatever. And
they want to do their own thing.
They want to do their own thing, but at that setting.
Yeah.
Where there's army guys or foreigner guys there. Right. And they won't get that if they go to Gangnam or something. Yeah.
And I mean, it's already like almost an hour and 30. So let's touch on the last 2 topics. So you want to talk about like fitness here in Korea, like the gyms here. So like, do Did you where did you sign up at? You signed up at a gym?
Yeah, I signed up at a gym. In my first year in Korea, I signed up at a gym in the big Gwangju because it was close to my school and my apartment, and it was very easy. And then now that I've been living here, I had a gym close to where my apartment is that's on the other side of town. It's not that downtown area. And it was pretty cheap. It was like 30 or 40 a month, 40,000 won a month.
That's pretty cheap.
And it's not a big gym. Actually, I lived in Seoul for a year, and I paid 100 a month for a gym in Seoul for a year.
Yes.
Oh my God.
I had a lot of money at that time from a business that I had. I had a food business, and I had a lot of money left over.
Wow.
And I said, I want to get in shape.
Mm-hmm.
I quit smoking. I got a diet. I went to the gym. I did it all at the same time.
Yeah.
And that gym was amazing. It was a huge, like, warehouse-sized gym.
Yeah.
Where they had the classes with the step and all that stuff that was included. And that was an awesome experience.
What would you say the differences are between
a small gym?
No, between like a Korean gym and generally and American gym?
You know what? I'm embarrassed to say I don't know much about American gyms.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I would say
more people. In America, it's very busy.
Yeah.
I think more people. As a foreigner, you do get stares. You do get older. Younger people don't stare. Younger Koreans don't bother.
Yeah.
They know it's a little bit embarrassing.
Right.
But you do get old men that don't give a shit.
They don't give a shit.
And they'll look in the mirror at you, and you look at them, and you think, okay, I'm a foreigner. They're looking at me. I'm weird. Fine. But then you're done with your set, and they're still looking at you. And then you do get guys that approach you and try to speak English. They approach you just because they want you to know that they can speak a little bit of English.
And then just walk away.
And that's really cool, and I'm a nice person about it, but it's like, damn, like, I wish that when I need help in English, that Korean person I'm talking to wants to speak English. They want to speak English to me always at the wrong time. You know? Like when I'm in the locker room naked.
Yeah, they do
I
that.
don't want a naked old man
And they're
tapping my shoulder saying, "Where are you from?"
Yeah. Oh my God. I've gotten the same thing,
You gotta
dude.
be nice.
I'm changing.
He's just being nice. He just doesn't know that it's weird with my cock hanging out
Yeah.
to ask me where are you from and having a conversation with me. I just want to get the hell out of there. You
And
know?
it's not like he's well groomed. He has a huge bush just crawling, like almost poking your eyes.
But this is the thing.
And yeah,
Go ahead. Go. Sorry. Jesus Christ.
Are you on your knees?
What have you been doing
There's like
in
a bench
the locker
there,
room?
you know, you're on a bench, and
How tall is this
his
guy?
waist is like right there.
All right.
But yeah. What were you saying, Joe?
I'm saying that's kind of Korean culture because like my dad when I was like younger, he was always like oh 나랑 사우나 가자, you know, like that means like let's go to sauna together. That's how you know like a father and a child bond. So it's kind of like when you're in that setting, to us, we're Americans, so we're like, what the fuck are you? Why are you talking to me when I'm naked, right? But like to Koreans, it's more like, oh, we're in this kind of setting. Yeah, we're in like. Okay, we're like in the man zone, you know, like this is where we're like exposed, but we're also like in
this is our place.
Yeah,
this is our time.
This is our like zone. Yeah, this is our place. So like that's when they like I get that too. They're like, oh man, like you were doing this weird workout today. Can you tell me what you did? What was that working out?
Yeah, and
he would just be facing me with his cock just hanging. Like you just be like confident as fuck.
That slab of wang just
Jesus Christ, but. Like
swinging like a pendulum. Yeah,
that's actually that happened to me.
Are you sure about that?
Yeah, a pendulum though.
Yeah, it's covered
more
by
like
its bush.
More like a light switch.
Yeah. Jesus.
On a horizontal.
You might be hard. I don't know.
Yeah.
Listen, I've stayed at Jim Jilbong's maybe 100 times. I have a comedy routine. I can do like 5 minutes just on Jim Jilbong jokes alone.
Me too.
Right.
Yeah.
Jim Jilbong is the Korean sauna.
It is.
Right.
Where guys walk around naked in the locker room and it's no big deal. I know what you mean. There's nothing gay about it at all. It's my own insecurity. Why should I be embarrassed about talking to another naked dude in a locker room? I shouldn't be, but I just am because that's just where I'm from.
That's just cultural things.
That's a cultural difference.
All three of us, man.
One difference I would say about, I mean, I could go on forever about this, but one thing I want to touch upon is they have like those 80s like contraptions don't work at all at the gyms. Do you know what I'm talking about? Like they have those waistband things and they just jiggle your fat, and these like old like elderly women.
What do the fat jigglers really do? Because
they
supposed use them
to,
so much.
They're like fat burners. They're fat burners around the waist. You know, you got some like love handles around your waist. They just stand on that thing. They put that thing around your waist and they turn it on. It's just like
right,
you know, and they just feel like it's supposed to take all the fat out. But
right.
And then they'll have some other weird contraptions. I can't even think of it. But
it's also for massage purposes because older people they just don't want to spend money at a massage parlor, so they'll just get that shake.
Okay,
that wheel
thing,
thing that goes on there,
yeah.
Like that's a massage thing, right?
See, yeah, that is. But the waistband thing,
no.
I think a lot of people are misled to believe that it actually takes the...
No, that's true.
It's a fat burning device.
It's true.
I think in the 80s, they had some...
It's just supposed to shift
crazy
the fat around, move it around or something.
It's just
like
jiggling
that.
Your
to do
fat.
That. Yeah, but
it doesn't do anything.
And I see them on there for like 10 minutes straight or even more.
Because they like the feeling of it. They're just like, oh, God, I like it. Yeah.
Well, they gotta get their love life straight.
I'm going back to USA around Christmas time. My sister's getting married on New Year.
Oh, congrats to
New
your
Year, New Year's
Shout
Eve.
out to your sister, yeah.
I'm trying to lose weight and be fit and good looking for wearing a suit or a tux or whatever.
You're already a stud yourself right now.
Thanks.
Look at you.
But listen, I've been dieting for 2 months now. Not strictly, but
I can tell, man.
I do kind of like the low carb diet, yo-yo diet, and I don't mean yo-yo diet in a bad way. I just mean, look, it's tough to not eat bread, rice, or sugar 24/7.
As long as you're aware of the
months
portion.
where I'll just eat bread and rice and not worry about it, and then when my pants get too fucking tight, then I'm like, now it's time to cut down on that. So I went from, because I know you guys work out, so I think I'm talking to something that is cool for you guys. I went from 75. Whenever I'm over 75, it's fat. Too much.
Wait, you're talking $175?
I'm sorry, I'm talking kilos.
Oh, okay.
That's like 150?
So 75 is what, 160?
Okay,
pounds?
So 160.
That's about it.
I want to weigh 150, 152, around there. In high school, I was like 145 or something like that. So I got down now. This morning, I weighed myself. I bought myself the electric scale. You got to have a scale if you care about that.
Right. Yeah,
you know?
That's true.
Without a scale, you're flying blind, right?
Yeah.
Part of the best part about the gym was they had the scale. When I stopped going to the gym, I had no scale, so I had to buy one at home.
Yeah.
This morning, I was 70.5. So I went down like 4 or 5 over 2 months of just not eating candy bars and potato chips and just getting the junk out. Not like beer and soju helps, but this is a weekend thing.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I stopped going to the gym because grad school is wiping me out. And if I'm going to work out on a routine, which is what it needs to be, I would have to go to bed at 11 and wake up at 7 and work out at from 8 to 10. And I just can't get myself to go to bed at 11. I just can't get myself to do it. And I don't know what gym you go to. I don't know how. There's actually quite a few gyms downtown or close to here.
The best one's right here, right near here.
But
it's
I need
a
10-minute
walk.
It's a good gym.
So I have 4 more months before Christmas time.
Yo,
and
please
I
come through my
to
gym.
like 69
come
kilos,
through my gym.
And I want to and I haven't been working out. Now I'm ready to do some exercise, because when you add muscle, you get heavier. Not that it's a bad thing, but now I want to get the fat down first.
Yeah.
And then the muscle. You know what I'm saying? And I just don't have the motivation. I'm just wiped out, and I feel like I'm on my own.
Hey man, me and this other girl, Crystal, who's also a teacher, we both work out here at this gym, and the facility is really nice. The equipment is American as well. Like a lot of the other stuff is like Chinese or whatever. So,
is it
pretty
here
much
in this area?
Yeah, it's a 10-minute walk.
Closer to Mielmok?
Yeah, closer towards the city hall.
All right.
Yeah,
dude, that's the best motivation, man. Just going with somebody.
Yeah, so just come through, man. Yeah. The prices aren't bad. At 3 months for 150,000 won, which is like $150.
Yeah, 50 month is normal, I guess. That's what my other gym, and the other gym is great.
But the facility is what like stands out there.
Do they give
it's
you the
smaller.
clothes? Do they give you a t-shirt and shorts?
I think you could. Because I think you might need to pay like a $10 additional thing.
Yeah, I want that because if you do it regularly, your shit gets sweaty and nasty, and you want somebody else.
You don't have
the gym, the towels. You want that all taken care of there.
Yeah. Okay, yeah, come through anytime. And last thing I want to talk about, I want to ask you. I mean, any crazy stories, man? Give it to the fans here. Give it to the audience.
Give it to them hard.
Yeah, any crazy story, man.
The truth.
Yeah, there's so many. Shit.
Just give us like one.
We definitely need you here for next time, man. I want to talk about.
There's so much more. Yeah. We didn't talk about Jimjil Bongs at all.
Dude, we need to have you on for another episode.
Just dating things. There's so many things to talk about with dating and my food business. I had my food business. I didn't talk about that.
What?
I had a food truck in Korea. Yeah, there's so much more.
We're going to have you on next time. Hey, you guys can check us out at Squash the Beef on YouTube or stbeef00.com or on Instagram to see my dick pics or Twitter at stbeef00. And you can also check out Steve's thing on YouTube, Stephen with a PH, Stephen Worldwide. Or you can check out his articles on Gwangju News, GIC.com. We'll have the links in the description below. So, yeah, that's it. We'll see you guys next time. Yeah. All right. Peace.
Thanks, guys.